Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday, December 16th. The Texas Department of Transportation has denied the City of Corpus Christi's request for an exemption to allow 2 decorative crosswalks to remain in place, as well as a statewide directive from Governor Greg Abbott requiring the removal of nonstandard roadway markings. KEEI News reports that a memo from the Office of City Manager Peter Zanoni stated that TxDOT determined the crosswalks at the 6 Points intersection and at Twig Street and Shoreline Boulevard do not comply with the Texas Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. City officials formally requested an exemption from TxDOT in late October. In a November 25th response, TxDOT's Traffic Safety Division rejected the request, stating that any exception will require certification from a traffic engineer confirming full compliance with state and federal standards. KEEI reports that the city's memo warns that failure to comply could result in the suspension of TxDOT agreements or the withholding of transportation funds. Removal of the crosswalks is expected to begin in early 2026, starting with the 6 Points location. The state's Safe Roads Initiative prohibits pavement markings, symbols, or designs that do not directly support traffic control or safety, including decorative artwork and markings that could be considered distracting. The city of Robstown has a new mayor after this past weekend's runoff election. Ann Saenz took the lead Saturday night, defeating David P.D. Martinez by just 13 votes. Also on the ballot, John Ramon won the Place 1 council seat with 54% of the vote. As previously reported by KRAS 6 News, Robstown has seen relatively low voter turnout in recent elections. This year, about 1,240 voters participated in the November 4th special election that led to this past Saturday's runoff. A $249 million solar project in rural Hidalgo County is in jeopardy. The Rio Grande Valley Business Journal reports that the company behind it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last month and said it expects to lay off over 75% of its workforce. A proposed 249-megawatt solar project was planned to be built about a mile west of Lynn in northern Hidalgo County. Pine Gate Renewables, an energy developer headquartered in North Carolina, operated more than 100 utility-scale solar projects throughout the U.S. The Hidalgo project was one of 130 under development and 24 projects in Texas. If completed, the project would generate enough electricity to power roughly 40,000 homes annually, based on national averages cited by the Solar Energy Industries Association. It was also expected to create 300 construction jobs for the area. And later this hour, KEDT continues our election 2026 coverage when Spencer Cihak speaks with GOP District 34 hopeful Jay Nagy. The 29-year-old former SpaceX engineer is the youngest candidate running for federal office in South Texas. Here's a preview of that conversation.
Now, you've talked a lot about the environment. I'd be curious to people to hear kind of what your plan is to help with the water and just this crisis that we're going through right now in South Texas.
Yeah. So number one, I do think we need a desalination plant. I think that's the direction everyone is moving. But because the people kind of outlining it right now, they're not really builders of the strong sense of the word. So they're going to get ripped off. They're going to buy like a multi-billion-dollar machine that doesn't even protect us for the next century. So we just need to re-architect that plan. And I think the best way to do that is to go cheap starting out. You need like modular, very inexpensive systems to deploy water quickly to the community, not to businesses. Okay, we need to direct water to the people that are living here first. And then for the large businesses that need a lot of water, that's where you want to get federal involvement and build a massive mega desalination plant that is powered by nuclear energy. So the Trump administration is pretty aggressively rolling out small modular reactors around the country. They're trying to make deals. Nobody in our district is advocating that we should get one of those reactors. I think we can declare a state of emergency. I think we can get Trump to pay for the reactor, bring in a whole new industry to South Texas, and power our desal plant off that. So not only would we get more energy for free, more water from that machine, you also get the jobs to build it, all of it. And local businesses, I think, would help us pay for it. That's more on the north end of the district. For the Rio, we got to go harder on Mexico. I love what Trump just did with the tariffs on Mexico. We need them to release the water that they owe to us. I've traced the river back from Colorado all the way down to Brownsville, talking to local farmers, talking to people that use that water. Everyone is pointing at Mexico, at Monterrey, at the losses that are happening because their infrastructure is so bad. Why give them water if you know that over a quarter of it is just going to leak away because they don't have the piping to contain it? So that, to me, it's like we got to go harder on them.
The primary takes place on March 3rd. You can hear the full interview later this hour following South Texas Midday. Corpus Christi City Council meets today at Council Chambers at 1201 Leopard Street. This week's agenda will include items to award a $4.8 million construction contract to South Texas Building Partners for the new Corpus Christi Detention Center in Council District 1. Funding will be available from prior City Council approved certificates of obligation and 2026 Public Facilities CO funds. They will also discuss a resolution authorizing an interlocal agreement with Lavaca Navidad River Authority for design and construction of the LNRA facility expansion at Lake Texana. They'll also focus on a resolution relating to establishing the city's intention to reimburse itself for prior lawful expenditure of funds relating to any capital expenditures. The reimbursement to be issued by the city would not exceed $29 million for authorized purposes, including the Evangeline Groundwater Rights Project and the Reclaimed Water for Industrial Reuse Project. And they will also go over details to designate a tax increment reinvestment zone number 7. Full meeting agenda, live stream and replay, as well as public comment session signups are available online at corpuschristitx.gov. And Victoria City Council will meet at 5 p.m. today at the city's council chambers at 107 West Juan Lynn Street. Meetings will be live streamed online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube at Victoria Texas Videos. Action items on this week's agenda include items to approve a $798,000 construction contract with Rain King Inc. to replace the roof of the Victoria Public Library building. They will also set public hearings on a proposed stormwater drainage utility and drainage utility fee. According to the item memo, the first public hearing is recommended to be set for February 3rd and the second on February 17th. City manager reports we'll have an update from the 2025 Tejas Fest, as well as considerations for the 2026 festival. Full meeting agenda is available online at victoriatx.gov. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. Later this hour, Spencer Cihak chats with GOP District 34 hopeful Jay Nagy. That, your community arts calendar, and more are on the way.